Again, I want to remind us of our theme verse in Psalm chapter 9, verse 10. And they that know his name will put their trust in him. For you, O Lord, do not forsake those who seek you. I remember an old hymn when I was a child, and sometimes we still think about it. Trust and obey, for there's no other way to be happy in Jesus but to trust and obey. What two great words that we need to comprehend, understand, and practice. Trust. Put your trust in the Lord God. You can depend upon him. He is a God that keeps his word. There are so many things and people that we do not trust, and sometimes we do trust and then we're disappointed. But I'll guarantee you, you'll never be disappointed when you truly obey and trust God. And today we're learning to meet God and experience him by his name, Jehovah-Nissi. We meet him by this name in the Bible in Exodus chapter 17. And you remember the story of the people of Israel had just come out of Egypt. They're on their wilderness journey and they have no water. Moses strikes the rock in chapter 17. And then at the end of this chapter, then he meets God as Jehovah-Nissi because they're attacked by Amalek. Now, this represents to you and me, after we begin our journey to victorious Christian living, that's the promised land, and we really want to have that victory over sin, over the flesh, over the devil, over the world in our daily lives, and do those things that please God as a new believer. It's not long till we're attacked by Amalek, the flesh. Amalek, of course, was a grandson of Esau. Esau was a half-brother, or actually the twin brother of Jacob. Blood and flesh, closest to you. Sometimes the great attacks comes from those closest to you and those from whom you would least expect it. But the flesh is there. When you get saved, you get a new nature. But my friend, the old Adamic nature, we call it, is still there to plague us until the day we meet Jesus face to face and we're changed into his glorious image. Now today, Amalek. In Deuteronomy chapter 25, verses 17 through 18, Moses, writing his last words, told the people of Israel, remember what Amalek did to you on the way when you were coming out of Egypt, how he met you on the way and attacked you, your rear ranks, all the stragglers at your rear, when you were tired and weary, and he, Amalek, did not fear God. And that's interesting. He attacks from the rear. He attacks you when you're weak, when you're tired and you're weary. He tries to get you when you're down, because ultimately all attacks are directed by the evil one himself, Satan, to drag you down, to discourage you, to keep you from enjoying God's best for your life. And so, how do you face Amalek? How do you deal with Amalek? How do you deal with him? Well, Moses went up on the mountain and he took the rod of God. Now, for a few minutes today, before we get into more particular details about how to face Amalek, we need to understand Moses and the rod of God, the rod of God. Remember, when God met Moses there at the burning bush, he said, what's in your hand? And he said, my rod. And God said, throw it down. And he threw it down, and remember, it came a snake. Then God said, pick it up, and it turned back in the rod. That rod became the rod of God. When Moses threw down that protection, that staff that he protected the sheep with, that he protected himself with from enemies and predators, the rod that he used to guide the sheep and maybe discipline the sheep, when he threw it down to the Lord, God turned it into something great and awesome. It became the rod of God, representing the presence of God. Remember, he threw it down at Pharaoh. It became a servant. He threw it down in the river. He hit the river with it. It turned into blood. He used that rod to hold back the Red Sea. He used that rod again to strike the rock and the water would come out. This rod is a symbol that we're under Jehovah's protection, the rod of God. And we're going to talk about what it means to come under that rod of God, the Jehovah-Nissi, the Lord is my banner. So you stay tuned these next few days, and we're going to learn about dealing with Amalek, the flesh, so we can enjoy that Christian life God intends us to enjoy. God bless. Have a great day.